Thanks for staying with us. You're watching News 9. I'm Yash Goel. Now, this is a special story we are tracking at this hour. Does shouting Jai Shri Ram inside a mosque constitutes as offence? Well, why are we asking this question? Well, the Supreme Court is all set to hear crucial petition against the judgment of the Karnataka High Court quashing a criminal case against two men for shouting the slogan in a mosque in Dakshin Kannada. In fact, the case pertaining to a challenging of the petition in the Karnataka High Court decision which quashed criminal proceedings against miscreants who had raised the slogan inside a mosque. The reason why it was quashed was because the High Court was of the view that it did not hurt religious sentiments. Here's a flashback of what transpired. In fact, on September 24th last year, two men named Kumar and Sachin Kumar NM had allegedly entered the Juma Masjid in a village in the communal sensitive area of Dakshina Karnataka and started shouting Jai Shri Ram slogan. The duo also allegedly threatened the Muslims would not be allowed to live in peace. Following a police complaint, the men were arrested and booked under 4th section. The most serious charge was of section 192A, which pertains to act intent to outrage religious feelings. The two later moved the Karnataka High Court seeking the quashing of the criminal case against them. Fast forward to September 13 this year, Justice M. Naga, the justice in the case of the very High Court, granted them relief and quashed the case. In fact, what the judge has to say, reading out the order of Justice N. Naga Prasanna, said that Section 295A deals with deliberate and malicious act intent to outrage religious feelings of any class by insulting its religious or religious belief. In fact, it is understandable that how if someone shouts Jai Shri Ram, it would outrage the religious feeling of any class. When the complainant himself states that Hindu Muslims are living in peace and harmony in the area, then by no stretch of imagining can cause any result of any sort of agony in the area. Following the observations by the High Court that shouting Jai Shri Ram will not outrage the religious feelings of any class, the incident by no stretch of imagination, the complainant moved the apex court. Well, joining us now is an advocate from the Supreme Court, Saket Ji. Saket Ji, first of all, my first question to you is, beg your pardon, Saket Ji, my first question to you is, how do you see this ruling by the Karnataka High Court? First, let's put your legal perspective in front of our viewers.
The High Court, in my respectful opinion, has gone into the allegations made in the complaint but has not examined the case in detail, most specifically under the provisions of the constitutional law. Because there are so many things which are involved, not just a case of entering the mosque or chanting something in the mosque. That's not the case just to be looked into and to be viewed. So there are crucial issues which are involved in the matter. Social repercussions, law and order, or possible or deliberate attempt which may disrupt the peace in the society, and the intention of the parties who have committed an offense or charged with an offense. So a lot many things have to be understood and examined, and this is a fifth case where the investigation was required. But the High Court was prima facie of the opinion that this is not a case where the proceedings of the trial or the complaint should be further proceeded with, and it has quashed. See, understanding it from the different perspective, India is a secular country. Article 25 of the Constitution to 28 would confer the religious freedom. Article 25 specifically deals with the right to freedom of speech, the right of freedom of profession, practice, and propagate of any of his or her religion. Any citizen can exercise this right. And equally, Article 19, 1A confers with right to freedom of speech and expression. So no right, in my personal opinion, and in the opinion of the Supreme Court in several cases, whether it's a religious right or the right pertaining to Article 19(1)(a), that speech and expression, are absolute. All are controlled or restricted with the reasonable restrictions which are available under Article 19(2). So now, Article 19(2) says, right to practice a religion or any other rights which are conferred under Part 3 of the Constitution are not absolute. They are subject to reasonable restrictions as available under Article 19(2). So now the crucial question is, entering a mosque by a person who do not belong to that particular community itself is not with a genuine intention, number one, or it must be with an intention or deliberate intention to disrupt the peace or harmony in the society or in the place of worship, or there may be some intention beyond just entering or chanting Jai Shri Ram in the temple. And because the chanting of Jai Shri Ram in the temple and Jai Shri Ram in any other place of worship of any other community makes a lot of difference here. So hurting anyone's sentiments in the guise of exercising his right to freedom of religion or affecting some others' fundamental right to exercise, profess, or propagate the religion inside that their place of worship, and also the deliberate attempt itself is to be examined and to be considered in this case, where the intention was not to chant, but to chant and to disrupt the peace. Otherwise, there was no absolute need for a person to enter into the mosque and to chant something which is not relatable to that mosque. We can understand a situation if he has entered any other temple and chanted that is, then there may not be an offense. But the question is very, very sensitive here, that why did he enter the mosque only? Number one. Number two, why did he chant there at Jai Shri Ram? Number two. And number three, despite knowing that it is a communally sensible and sensitive area, why did he take such an action? And number four would be whether his intention was to disrupt peace or to profess or practice his religion inside the mosque. So, if you can examine and investigate all these things, the answer is almost clear. Their intention appears to be prima facie that it is to disrupt peace, which requires an investigation. So it does not mean that anyone can exercise any fundamental right in any other place of religious worship. That does not sound to be valid or legitimate. But there are certain areas which are prescribed for every religion wherein he could have exercised his right. But the way he has exercised his right in the guise of fundamental right, exercising in some other place of worship of some other religion, basically appears to be not with a genuine intention to have a peace and harmony, but to deliberate intention to disrupt the peace or incite violence. Could be anything that could be gathered at the prima facie examination of the complaint and the complaint amendments. But this is ultimately the matter of trial, which the court, in my personal opinion, ought to have allowed the trial to go on. And the police would have, the investigation would have revealed most of the important aspects as to the intention of the person who has committed an offense, or as to the persons behind it, or
Right.
their ultimate objective which they wanted to achieve by that. Everything could have been examined in detail when it was the subject matter of a trial. But that now being examined by the Supreme Court. So I think, in my personal opinion, Supreme Court will exercise it from the perspective of Article 25 to 28, the freedom of right,
Right.
freedom of religion, and that perspective, and also Article 19(1)(a), freedom of speech and expression, and that perspective, Article 19(2), the reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the fundamental rights under Part 3 of the Constitution, in as much as the questions pertaining to the deliberate act, which is defined under Section 295(a) of the Indian Penal Code. So, in my opinion, the Supreme Court would, in detail, examine all these aspects. Since this is an area of communally sensitive atmosphere, the Supreme Court, looking at these circumstances, would deal with it in a more stringent and more particular approach to examine all these fundamental rights and the rights which are governed thereunder. That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Advocate Hegani,
Yes, please.
for your time you given to News9. But we'll come back to you for more perspective on this very story. But now it's time to move on. And in fact, staying with the story coming in from Karnataka, a new controversy has erupted in the politics of the state over allegations surrounding the Waqf property issue. In fact, Congress has accused the BJP state president BY Vijayendra of attempting to bribe the former Minority Commission chairperson to surpass investigations into Waqf property encroachments. In fact, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has alleged that BJP leaders, including Vijayendra, are involved in grabbing Waqf properties. The CM claimed that Vijayendra offered a bribe of 150 crores to silence Anwar Manipedi, in fact, who was the chairperson, that time chairperson of the State Minority Commission during the previous BJP government. Speaking to News9 in Mangalore, Mr. Manipedi refuted claims of Vijayendra personally approaching him. In fact, he said that BS Vijayendra never came to my house. In fact, he also added that he was not involved when I submitted the report on Waqf property encroachment. Manipedi confirmed that during his tenure, efforts were made to lure him, but he alleged that the most of those attempts came from Congress leaders in 2012 to 2013. In fact, Manipedi's report revealed that while 1.6 lakh hectares of property belonging to the Waqf board, only 54,000 hectares are officially recorded. Of this, 27 to 28,000 hectares were allegedly encroached upon. CM Siddaramaiah, meanwhile, has suggested handing over the investigation to the CBI. Manipedi has also supported this move, claiming it would expose Congress leaders involving in the controversy. The BJP has dismissed the allegation as baseless, accusing the Congress of politicizing the issue.
Today, Anwar Manapadi has clearly stated that it was not Vijayendra, Congress people has approached then Waqf chairman Anwar Manapadi. As far as Priyanka Kharge or Siddaramaiah's allegation against me that I had offered 150 crores to Anwar Manapadi, it's a big joke. It's a big joke when the allegation is against Congress leaders, then Congress leaders, who have exploited the Waqf properties, who have misused the Waqf properties. Where is the question of me offering help to Congress leaders? This is meaningless, and whatever Chief Minister raised the issue yesterday, we will answer that on the floor of the House.
Well, staying with the state of Karnataka, factional fighting within the Karnataka BJP has raised concerns about the party's unity and its prospects. The internal strife has seen public disagreements among senior leaders and factions, particularly centered around the leadership of BY Vijayendra, who is the son of former Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa. In a recent post on social media platform X, BY Vijayendra addressed the issue directly, stating that there is no room for factional politics in the Bharatiya Janata Party. He further emphasized that organizing meetings in the name of faction is unacceptable and urged party members to immediately stop such activities. Vijayendra also added that as the state president, he plans to convene a meeting soon with party elders, MLAs and former MLAs to strengthen the organization and promote unity. He underscored that the Bharatiya Janata Party functions as family, urging his colleagues to hold meetings and programs within the framework of party. Activities that bypass party rules and objectives, he said, go against party's vision. Now shifting focus back to the national capital, the Aam Aadmi Party has now finalized its candidate for all the assembly seats in Delhi. With the release of its fourth and final list, the latest announcement includes 38 names, bringing the total to 70 candidates after 3 earlier lists that had already named 32 leaders. In fact, prominent leaders like Arvind Kejriwal will be representing the New Delhi Assembly seat, while Chief Minister Atishi is set to contest from Kalkaji. Saurabh Bhardwaj will stand from Greater Kailash. Gopal Rai will be fighting this election too from the Babarpur seat, and Somnath Bharti from Malviya Nagar. From Matia Mahal, Shoaib Iqbal has been fielded and Durgesh Pathak will contest from Rajendra Nagar. In fact, Satyendra Jain is also set to contest this time around from his old seat of Shakarpur Basti. In fact, Minister Imran Hussain will be fighting this election from Balli Maran. Minister Mukesh Kumar Ehlawat from Sultanpur Marza. In fact, Minister Raghuvendra will contest from Nangloi Jat. Notably, the party has given ticket to Ramesh Pahalwan, a recent entrant to the Aam Aadmi Party from the Kasturba Nagar seat. Pahalwan replaced the current MLA Madan Lal, whose seat has been dropped. Now with this, the Aam Aadmi Party gears up for the Delhi Assembly elections, presenting a fresh slate of candidates alongside some well-known faces.
देखिए, पार्टी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि पार्टी ने हमें बाबरपुर विधानसभा से पुनः प्रतिनिधित्व करने के लिए उम्मीदवार बनाया है। मुझे भरोसा है कि बाबरपुर के लोगों ने जिस तरह से हमें जनादेश दे करके वोट दे करके जिताया था, इस बार भी बाबरपुर की जनता हमें अपना समर्थन देगी और मैं जिस तरह से पहले काम कर रहा था बाबरपुर के लिए, विकास के लिए, उसी तरह से और तेज़ी से मैं उसके लिए काम करूँगा। दिल्ली के अंदर सबके मन में एक ही बात है, इस बार दिल्ली में काम करने वाली सरकार चाहिए।
मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दूंगा पार्टी की शीर्ष नेतृत्व को, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को धन्यवाद दूंगा, पूरे राजेंद्र नगर विधानसभा के लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दूंगा जिन्होंने मेरे ऊपर भरोसा रखा। मुझे 2 साल मिला यहाँ काम करने के लिए। मैं बाई इलेक्शन में चुन के आया था और मेरी कोशिश यही रही कि जितनी ताकत है मेरे अंदर, उस पूरी ताकत से लोगों की सेवा कर सकूँ। मैं आशा करता हूँ कि लोग फिर से मुझे एक बार मौका देंगे और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को फिर से सीएम बनाएंगे।
दिल्ली की 70 विधानसभा सीटें हैं और 32 का ऐलान आम आदमी पार्टी पहले ही कर चुकी थी। बचे 38 पर भी ऐलान कर दिया है। आपने पूछा सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग सीट कौन सी होगी, तो वो नई दिल्ली ही रहने वाली है। चाहे वो तब थी जब अरविंद केजरीवाल ने तब की जो मुख्यमंत्री थी कांग्रेस की शीला दीक्षित के खिलाफ चुनाव लड़ा था, और अब भी वैसे देखने को मिलेगा क्योंकि देखिए कांग्रेस ने यहाँ पर पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री शीला दीक्षित के बेटे संदीप दीक्षित को मैदान में उतारने का फैसला किया है। तो वहीं पर प्रवेश वर्मा, वो भी पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री के बेटे हैं, तो उनका मुकाबला सीधे तौर पर अरविंद केजरीवाल से होगा। बाकी जो उनके पूर्व विधायक रहे हैं अभी मौजूदा, उनको सबको उन्हीं की सीटों से उतारा गया है। और कुल मिलाकर आप पूरे 70 की लिस्ट देखेंगे तो 17 ऐसे पूरे सिटिंग एमएलए थे जो पिछली बार थे और इस बार उनका टिकट काट दिया गया। यानी कि आम आदमी पार्टी ने जीत को सुनिश्चित करने के लिए सर्वे कराए गए, लोगों से फीडबैक लिया, उसी आधार पर एक बड़ा आंकड़ा है क्योंकि 70 में से आप देखेंगे 17 तो एक बड़ा आंकड़ा है जिनको रिप्लेस यहाँ पर कर दिया गया, यानी कि इनकी टिकट काट दी गई है। तो आम आदमी पार्टी किसी भी सूरत में अपनी जीत का जो चौका है वो दिल्ली में मारना चाहती है। इसी को लेकर के अब आम आदमी पार्टी पूरी तरीके से 70 की 70 विधानसभा सीटों पर चुनाव के लिए अपने उम्मीदवार उतार चुकी है। इस बीच जो ये लग रहे थे कि क्या कांग्रेस के साथ गठबंधन होगा, उन पर भी अब केजरीवाल मना भी कर चुके थे और इस बात को लेकर पुष्टि हो चुकी है कि कोई गठबंधन भी जो है वो यहाँ पर नहीं होगा।
Now, amid the farmers' protest at the Shambhu border, now hectic parleys have begun with senior government officials meeting the agitating farmers. Punjab DGP Gaurav Yadav today reached the Kanori border to meet farmer leaders Jagjit Singh Dhalewal and persuade him to discontinue his fast. He was also accompanied by Mayank Mishra, who is the director of Ministry of Home Affairs. Remember, Dhalewal has said that he will be on fast till death till farmers' demands are met. Speaking to the media post his meeting with the farmer leaders, DGP said that as per the directions of the Supreme Court, he had come to ensure that medical care facilities are provided to the fasting leaders. In fact, DGP also said that Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has opened channels with the central government and talks are being held to resume talk with the farmers.
ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਸਾਨੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਿਮਾਂਡਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਕਹਿ ਲੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਈਟਫੁਲੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਸ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਵੇ, ਚੈਨਲਸ ਖੁੱਲਣ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਮਸਲਾ ਹੱਲ ਹੋਵੇ। ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਡੱਲੇਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਥੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਸਾਨ ਯੂਨੀਅਨ ਨੂੰ ਪੁਰਜ਼ੋਰ ਅਪੀਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿ ਬੇਸ਼ਕੀਮਤੀ ਜਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡੱਲੇਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਫੈਸਿਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਵੀ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਾਈ ਗਈਆਂ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਆਰਡੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
ਸਰ, ਕੇਂਦਰ ਦੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਨੁਮਾਇੰਦੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ
ਬੈਠੇ ਜੀ ਮਯੰਕ ਮਿਸ਼ਰਾ ਜੀ।
ਕੀ ਅਹੁਦਾ ਸਰ ਜਾਣ ਸਕਦੇ
ਹਾਂ? ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਆਫ ਹੋਮ ਅਫੇਅਰਸ।
ਕੀ ਡੱਲੇਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ?
ਡੱਲੇਵਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਡਿਮਾਂਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਉਸ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ आगे फॉरवर्ड मूवमेंट किया जाए।
कਦੋਂ तक लिंक हो सकता है सर गलबात?
101 लोग कुछ ज्यादा नहीं होते हैं, उसको अगर आप बोलोगे उग्रवादी हैं, ये हम पे हमला करने आए हैं, तो वो भी गलत है। 101 लोग अगर जा रहे हैं, आपको डिटेल दे के जा रहे हैं, उसके बाद में ये कायरता वाला काम करना, देश बहुत एक इमरजेंसी जैसे हालात पे चल रहा है। जो किसान जिसके ऊपर पूरा देश पूरी दुनिया जिसके ऊपर निर्भर है, जब धरती पे कुछ नहीं था तब इस किसान ने उस जमीन को भी उपजाने का काम किया था। अगर आज वो रो रहा है, अगर वो आज अपना हक मांग रहा है, सिर्फ उतना हक मांग रहा है जितना उनके बच्चे।
Well, moving on, in Sambhal, Uttar Pradesh, the district administration has launched a major anti-encroachment drive to clear public spaces of illegal construction. Sambhal DM stated that the drive has been going on for the last 2 months and is targeting encroachments on public spaces, including areas in Chandoli. In fact, in another major development, morning aartis have started at the Hanuman temple, which was discovered after over 4 decades in Sambhal during an anti-encroachment drive carried out by the district police and administration yesterday. Shifting focus to the financial capital, where a massive fire broke out at Poonam Chambers building in Worli area. In fact, the fire was reported on the 2nd floor. The team of fire brigade along with 10 vehicles quickly reached the incident site to control the fire. Well, no casualties have been reported so far. The cause of the fire is still unclear as the authorities are investigating the case. Shiv Sena leader Aditya Thakur reached the incident site where he told media that situation is being controlled by the fire tenders.
आज पूनम चेम्बर्स बी विंग में कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग है, वहां आग लगी थी। नीचे कहीं ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे डॉक्टर्स का ट्रेनिंग भी चल रहा था। अच्छी खबर यह है कि अंदर अभी तक कोई ट्रैप नहीं है, ये अभी तक खबर जो आई है कान पे। अभी जवान जा रहे हैं फायर ब्रिगेड के अंदर और कूलिंग ऑपरेशन जल्दी शुरू हो जाएंगे।
Well, TV9 Network has participated in Indian Television Anti-Awards 2024 and has won 71 awards in multiple categories and across brands. News9 Live and News9 Plus were also among the big winners, taking trophies in the English Daily News Bulletin, Current Affairs Special, Best Talk Show, Business Special, Sports News Show Programming on OTT and Best Sports Show Presenters category. Well, with these visuals, I'll leave you on this bulletin. See you on the other side.
Our warm wishes to all the winners and a reminder to please stay with us till the end of the evening for a group photograph with your trophies. Thank you. Let's move.